People always say snow makes everything peaceful, quiet, beautiful. But that's only true when you're not trapped in it. This happened during the worst winter my town had seen in years. Temperatures below zero, roads frozen solid, and a night I still can't fully explain. I was driving home after a late shift, taking a shortcut through a back road I'd used 100 times before. No streetlights, no houses, just trees, snow, and silence. Then my car stopped. Not skidded, not crashed. It just shut off. And that's when I noticed something standing on the road ahead, perfectly still in the falling snow. I tried turning the key again. Nothing. My phone showed 1% battery and no signal. The snow was getting heavier, covering the road faster than I'd ever seen. Within minutes, my tire tracks were gone, like I'd never been there at all. I looked up again. The figure was closer now. It didn't move, didn't wave, didn't react to my headlights, just stood there, facing me. I rolled down my window a crack and shouted, asking if they needed help. No answer. That's when I realized something was wrong. The cold was creeping inside the car. My breath fogged the windows. I told myself it was probably a person stranded like me. Maybe they'd walked backward. Maybe the snow covered the tracks. But the longer I stared, the more uncomfortable I felt. The figure was wearing something thin. Too thin for this weather. No coat, no gloves. Just standing there in sub-zero cold, unmoving. Then my radio turned on by itself. Static at first, then a voice. Low, crackling. It said my name. I never told anyone my name.
The figure started walking toward my car. Slow, deliberate, still leaving no marks in the snow. My phone died. The radio volume increased on its own, the voice repeating the same sentence. You shouldn't have stopped. I closed my eyes, gripping the steering wheel, whispering for the engine to start. When I opened them again, the figure was gone. At that exact moment, my car turned on. No warning lights, no issues. I didn't think, I just drove. I didn't slow down until I reached the main road. The next morning, curiosity got the better of me. I checked the local news. That road had been closed for years. A fatal accident had happened there during a snowstorm. A man who froze to death after his car broke down. Witnesses said drivers often claimed to see someone standing in the road on winter nights, always motionless, always watching. I never take shortcuts in winter anymore. And every time it snows, I make sure I never stop.
I used to work the night shift at a small gas station just off a highway in rural Ohio. It was the kind of place nobody stopped at unless they absolutely had to. Most nights were painfully quiet. No cars, no people. Just the low hum of the refrigerators behind the counter, and the empty road stretching into darkness outside. I remember thinking how strange it felt to be completely alone at that hour, like the world had gone to sleep without me. Nothing ever happened there. At least, that's what I believed. Because that night started just like every other night. Quiet. Uneventful. And that's exactly why what happened later still doesn't make sense to me. I was working alone that night, sitting behind the counter, scrolling on my phone. Around 2:30 a.m., the door sensor chimed. I looked up and saw a man entering. He was tall, wearing a dark jacket and a baseball cap pulled low over his face. He didn't greet me, didn't even glance in my direction. I felt something was off. Most nights the gas station was empty, but this felt different. He walked to the drink cooler slowly, completely still, almost like he was frozen in place. Finally, He grabbed a single bottle of water. His hands were shaking, not from nerves, but from cold. I rang up the bottle and told him the price. He pulled out a $20 bill and placed it on the counter. When I touched it, my stomach dropped. He didn't take the change. Instead, he leaned closer and whispered, "You shouldn't be working tonight." I froze. Before I could ask anything, he turned and walked out into the darkness. I watched through the window, expecting to see a car. Nothing. 10 minutes later, my manager called. Her voice was shaking. She told me the highway had been closed 2 hours earlier because of a fatal accident. A man had been hit while walking along the road. When she described him, it matched the man I just saw. Later, the police reviewed the security footage. The camera showed the door opening, but no one ever walked in. I still don't understand it. How could he have been inside the store if he was already dead on the highway hours before? Some nights, I can still hear the chime of that door in my dreams.